The week after the kiss on the cheek that should have been on the lips, Jungkook had become a man on a mission. The professor had officially called Wine into his office and thanked her for her help. Jungkook's grey hair improved not just in the subject she tutored him in, but in others as well. He was showing up to class, submitting homework, and for once, teachers didn't sigh at the mention of his name. Then she was called in the office. Mr. Han, I won't need you to tutor him anymore. I've arranged a small bonus scholarship for you, work you have done. Wine had bowed and thanked him politely. Relief washed over her. Finally, she could go back to her peaceful routine. No more arrogant football captains with wicked smirks and stupidly good hair. No more teaching a group of man like a toddler. No more trouble, or she thought. She should be happy, but why did it suddenly feel so empty? Jungkook, however, was not ready to go back to a life without her. She found him waiting outside the library the next day, leaning against the wall with a casual posture, which she could bet her life it was to seduce girls. Wine, what are you doing here? Jungkook, thought I'd take you to the coffee. Wine, I'm not your tutor anymore. He grinned and leaned off the wall. Jungkook, exactly. Now you're just a girl I want to get coffee with. Wine, if you want to see yourself successful in the future, get better lines. She patted his cheek twice as if he was a kid and walked inside the library. A move turned to someone so they won't feel too bad about failing. But Jungkook, he was only more fired up to win her over. Throughout his whole life, football had been his only obsession. And now he found a new one, and he wasn't sitting before he got her. Next week, he found her sitting on the bleachers after school, lost in a murder mystery novel, while his team practiced on the field. She didn't expect him to drop his game and jog over, shirt clinging to him from sweat, hair damp, smile roughly playful. Jungkook, caught you staring again, he teased. Wine, you dream a lot. Jungkook, don't lie. I'll let you off the hook if you come play around at the arcade after school. Wine, I have to finish this chapter. He sat beside her anyway, elbows on knees, panting from exertion but still watching her with a quiet smile. Jungkook, don't finish it. I'll wait. This didn't speak much that day, but something about the silence was safe, familiar. He didn't need to be loud to keep her attention, and she didn't need to push him away, not anymore. But then he started to get bored. Jungkook leaned back a little, peeking at the book she was reading. Something very gruesome about murder and fire was written there, but she read it sitting there under the sun with such a peaceful expression, Jungkook didn't know how to react. One raised a pro and glared at him. One, Mr. Han should have told me I need to teach you some manners as well. Jungkook, those gruesome blood details provide you peace. That's crazy. Maybe not crazy, but that's not the one the school envisioned. Nerd was the first thought to appear in their mind if her name was mentioned. But Jungkook believed otherwise. He found her cool, but after this, she ascended to the level of hot from cool. One, you won't get a kiss if that's what you're after. Jungkook, sweetheart, that only fires me up even more to prove you wrong. Wine turned her back at him and continued reading the silence, and he just waited. Somehow, after she was done and turned expecting him gone, he was there, eyes closed, arms on his sides, and head thrown back against the back. Vine stood up, closed her book, and turned to leave, expecting him to have slept, but then he held her wrist. Jungkook, where do you think you're going? Since I name. That one word did something to her it was never supposed to. She hated how attractive he looked in that moment. Vine was a girl, not immune to those things at all. They attracted her equally. Vine, I thought you were taking us to the arcade, so I can beat your ass there as well. He smirked and stood up, grabbed the book and bag off her hand without her will, and led them to the arcade. From then on, it became routine. Arcade visits where they battled over racing games and shooting zombies, quiet walks home under flickering street lights, hands brushing occasionally, never quite holding. Moments when their eyes met longer than they should have, when a teasing smile was followed by a faint blush on her cheeks. Jungkook didn't push. He flirted. He teased. He got under her skin, but always managed to come out of life with another flirt. It was always him chasing after her. The girls at the school had gone crazy seeing the sight, but Ryan, she was somehow, with or without her will, getting used to it. It's not like she wanted to see him waiting at the school gate for her at off time, but if he wasn't there, it would make her feel unknown things. And that started to be the case with everything else. He was always there, and she started to expect him to be. One of those in between days where things were no different than the rain started to pour heavily. She had forgotten her jacket. The downpour came fast and relentless after the final help, and the students ran out scrambling out in the storm. Mine stood in front of the building, arms crossed, where he was, and now that he was needed. She nearly slapped herself for always expecting that charming yet annoying face of his. That's when she felt the tap on her shoulder. Jungkook. He held his hoodie over both of their heads like a makeshift shield. He was already half soaked, damp hair curling at his forehead, eyes bright. There was a huge victorious smirk on his face. She wanted to kick his shin and run away. Jungkook, come on, he said, not giving her a chance to protest as he pulled her close, tugging her into his side. The hoodie wasn't big enough, their shoulders bumped, arms brushing as they ran down the sidewalk, puddles slashing underfoot. Wine could feel the heat of his body through his sweatshirt. She didn't know if it was the rain, but her pulse was racing. The dog under the bus stopped, breathless and tripping. Wine, stop smirking like you won a medal. Jungkook, stop acting like that didn't make your heart race. How did he know? Wine, stop playing around. It might be easy for you to trick any girl's heart, but it won't work on me. Wine saw it, the way that smirk wiped off his face, and he turned all serious. What? Did she lie? Why was he offended? He took a seat and it took 20 minutes for the bus to arrive due to the weather conditions. It was the first time she was in his company and he was silent. It started to feel awkward, or maybe she was worried? She didn't want to seem like this. The bus arrived. They got in, and even when his stop came first, he just raised a hand casually, see you, was all he said and then left. When the next day came, he was back to normal, back to being the most annoying human to ever exist on the planet, and somehow it provided Wine with relief. For the first time, she was happy seeing him like that. Once again, their outing continued, sometimes even sat in the library and studied. Now he was half annoying. Other half of him was actually putting effort in the studies. And Vine spent the nights cursing at herself because, as infuriating as it was, she was falling for him. One moment she would blush dreaming about kissing him, the next moment she would curse, reminding herself that he just wanted a kiss. He was not serious. But then her feelings started to get out of the hands. Just like now, they were walking back home. They were close and their hands touched, and it raised a spark in her. A small touch made her heart skip a beat that it nearly started to burn. She wanted to hold him. She shook her head. No, this was just not happening. One, that day at the bus stop, why did you get mad? He stopped. She looked up. Did she make him mad again? Jungkook, I was pissed off. One, why? Jungkook, you said I was joking. It pissed me off. And then I went home and realized something. JK, you were not wrong. You only calculated what image I showed you. Of me playing around and flirting with you, you thought I was only wanting a kiss, and that's because I made it sound like that. I was pissed off more at myself than anything. Wine, so was it not the case? She held her breath. She nearly prayed for him to say no. Jungkook, no. JK, it never was. That kiss? Sure, I wanted that. I still want it. But it didn't mean I was playing with you. I would have never started otherwise. I liked you, and in between all this cat and mouse chase, my feelings started to grow more than just liking. She searched his face, every detail of it now clear. The boy who used to skip class, the football captain who annoyed her to death, the one who stayed in the rain just to walk her home. He had changed so much. JK, I'm not good at this, so I didn't want to push. So I decided I'll wait. I'll earn it. Whatever it is you'll give me. Mine's legs nearly gave up on her. How was it? To dream of a man every night, to desire him crazily, and then have him confess to you. Wine, then you don't have to wait anymore. His breath caught, eyes a little widened from the surprise. He stood there and waited for her to take that back, to say she was just teasing him. But she didn't, and he took a big step, tapped her cheeks, leaned down to her level, and kissed her. His hand settled on her waist. Hers curled into the fabric of his hoodie. Everything else disappeared. When they pulled apart, Wine's forehead rested against hers. Jungkook, worth the wait, he whispered. Wine, took you long enough. He then smirked. Jungkook, finally I can tell it to my team and shut their stupid mouths. Wine stomped on his foot. Wine, don't you dare. He didn't let her finish, pulled her in and kissed her again, teasing jokes, everything aside. His heart was a crazy mess right now. He could get any girl he wanted, or that's where he was told. It was the first time he didn't believe that statement, and the first time he truly fell for someone. Under the sunset hues, he held the girl he loved and promised to do so till his last breath.